Hello everybody, James here, Storytime with Dutch Mantell, episode 159. As Dutch, what are you doing? Are you looking at monetizing Facebook posts?
I'm looking at something here.
No, all right. Well, Dutch is looking at something there. Yes?
I was just going to let the people in on what we were just talking about. But go ahead, do your opening, and let's see if I can sell some books and some diplomas for Christmas.
Okay then, so you never know, you might even get them for Christmas if you order early enough, but Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com is how you get your signed Dutch Mantell merchandise. That includes books, The World According to Dutch and Tales from a Dirt Road, diplomas as well from the University of Dutch featuring the signatures of Dutch Mantell and the Provost Zeb Coulter, and of course WCW trading cards as well signed. Email Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com. And Dutch will get back to you with the price, including shipping, and you never know, you might even get it ready for Christmas, possibly, maybe. Is that something we should promise?
Well, I'm still getting things out from last year when I was sick. Because, when you get a lot of stuff at one time, it kind of gets, if it gets in that pile, it's hard to pull it out. And my bookkeeping is not the best. It never has been, but so what was I going to talk about?
Oh, I'll bring that up in a second. But after that glowing review of his own service of signed merchandise being sent out, that is Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's at gmail.com. One other email is questionsfordutch@gmail.com. That is how you submit your questions for Ask Dutch Anything, our weekly Sunday show, which will be continuing over Christmas. We're not going to do story time for a week or two over Christmas because there's no news, so there's not really any point, and plus we could all use a bit of time off as well. But Ask Dutch Anything will be continuing through Christmas, so don't you worry about that. One more thing, Listmania Wrestling, one of my personal channels, is growing pretty darn well, and I think we're going to have a video on every Goldberg loss there ever was. We've got stuff coming up on Vince McMahon, we've got stuff coming up on John Cena, we've got stuff coming up on the only WWF title that was defended on WCW television as well, and how that all came about. So many lists and deep dives.
So what are you going to talk about on your show? The Listmania.
Just the things I mentioned. Vince and... Okay, right, so if you want... Right, I'm doing a video on everybody who didn't like John Cena, but that's going to be until way after his retirement. 10 ways that Vince McMahon screwed people over. We had to whittle it down to 10. I'm sure that'll be a multi-parter.
Oh, that would go on. That could go on for a year at least.
That'll be an omnibus, most likely.
The thing about wrestlers, always remember this: they never forget anything, especially when they, who was the world's champion at the grudges and people screwing him around, or according to him, was Randy Savage. Oh yeah. He didn't like a lot of people, and he trusted nobody. I mean, and this was when he was first starting out. So I would ride, and we wouldn't make some shows together, and the whole time was spent with Randy talking and me listening and agreeing with him, because I didn't want to get to an argument with him. And he got mad one day. He said, "Hey man, I could pull." He's driving a van. "Hey man, I could pull this van over at any time." I said, "Nah, I'm not stopping you. Pull it over." But he never pulled it over, so we kept going. So I guess that was supposed to intimidate me, I guess, but it didn't. But
why are you traveling with him? Why are you traveling with him even when you were feuding?
I forgot what happened. I wanted to. I think he wanted me to ride with him. Lanny wasn't with him. He was by himself. I think he wanted to talk some stuff over, some ring stuff, and we would have like an hour or two, without anybody disrupting us or anything. And a good driver, and which surprised me, that's how he got killed.
Well, he had a heart attack. No, he had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack and hit a tree.
Yeah.
And I had just seen him. What year was that?
2011 or something, maybe.
Yeah, I had just seen him in 2010, and that was the first time I'd seen him in like 15 years. So,
Right, so with Randy Savage, let's talk about the trust thing then. So, do you think it's because he basically broke into the business under Nick Goulas, who paid
no,
horribly and tried to screw people over all the time on pay?
no. He broke in under his daddy,
Well, yeah.
and his daddy said, "Don't trust anybody in this business," and he never did. So I think, and when the Poppos went to Nick Goulas in Tennessee, who was notorious for bad pay. The only reason I would even think about working for him is because he gave me a guaranteed salary. You'll make this every week. And some weeks I made more. And this was like, I don't know, this was back in the 70s, a long time ago. But he already had that reputation. But he still ran a successful company for years and years and years. I guess if you don't pay anybody, you can take all that money and just pay yourself.
It's
But
like a charity.
but
It's like running a
but
charity.
but what it was a company for guys just starting out and guys just wrapping up. They were starting or ending, one or the other. See, I was in the middle there because I was still building. And that's where I met Savage. I met Lanny. I met a lot of guys. I met Junkyard Dog there. I met a lot of guys there. So, but to learn this business, sometimes you had to accept the bad with the good. And they still have this today, except they just don't have territories like they used to. Now they got two companies. They got AEW and they got WWE. But to get there, you have to get experience somewhere, and that's where all the independents come in. There's more independence now than I've ever seen in my life. I mean, some guy, if he can just afford, he don't even have to buy a ring. He can just rent a ring and know absolutely nothing about wrestling, but he might know something about promoting, and he may draw a pretty decent crowd. The show might suck, but it's all the way you promote it, because I guess once somebody buys a ticket, they're going to watch the show. And whether the promoter or the booker, if he even has a booker, if they even know how to put on a show. But I guess that's sometimes the chance you take when you go to a new promotion. Some of them are good, some of them are not, just like everything else.
You mentioned Randy Savage not trusting anyone. Anyone in particular that he mentioned? Because we all know your Vince McMahons and your Hogans and stuff, but anyone back in the day that he was leery of?
Oh, he was leery of all promoters. He had just come, when I met him in Nashville, he had just come from the mid-Atlantic territory. And it surprised me, as he was good then. He was a little thin to match up with those mid-Atlantic guys. But still, he had some not necessarily semifinals. He was right there knocking on that semifinal door. And I think and the booker then, we called it Charlotte, but it was Mid-Atlantic. That's where the office was. That's why we called it Charlotte territory. George Scott was the booker many, many, many years ago. And he liked Randy. And I think they treated him fairly well. But I think the reason he came to Nashville was because his father, Angelo, and Lanny, they were looking to be in the same territory as Randy. And I don't think George Scott had a spot for them. But so they called up Nick, and they made a deal with Nick. I guess Angelo did. And they made a deal with Nick, so all of them could be in the same territory at the same time and all ride together and all this. So it worked out well for him.
Yeah, Lanny wasn't happy about that, because I think he kind of got the whole, stick together, we're family kind of thing from either his dad or Randy, whoever it was. Lanny was my first interview. He told the story. and he was bummed out because I think he was, finally branching out on his own and somewhere in Canada or the Maritimes or wherever it might have been. And then he gets the whole spiel that he had to come back, and he didn't want to, but he had to.
Yeah, the branching out in the Maritimes, that's not branching out. That was they had bought later on after Nashville, they had bought into what was the name of it up there in the Maritimes?
It's not like IWCCW or something like that, was it?
Yeah, but it was not New Brunswick, but
not
somewhere.
the Savaldis. Did they work up there, or am I going a bit crazy?
Well, I've only met Savoldi once and talked to him, but I don't know that much about Savoldi. But they went to Nova Scotia. That's where they went, and Nova Scotia was a territory, but it wasn't a territory. It was a territory in, I think, the summer, because the winter, hell, you couldn't even get to the towns because it got so much snow. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, if you can't even get to the towns, why are people even living there? I don't know. How did it get settled? I don't know. But in the summertime, that was the time for everybody to get out and picnicking or go swimming or go skiing or go to the wrestling matches, because the summertime was the only time it ran. And I think they went up there, and for 1 year, maybe 2 years, they did very, very good. And then I guess they ended up settling it to somebody and then coming to Nashville. Or no, that was after Nashville.
I'm wrong.
Settled somebody else.
Yeah, I was I was wrong about that. Savoldi's had like Boston and basically some of the Northeast as well. So it was Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling, run by Al Zink back in the 60s, 70s.
That was, I think, Dupree too.
Yes, that sounds right. Emile Dupree.
And I never knew that much about it because I'm a Southern guy. I'm a Southern boy. And when you talk about weather like colder than 40 degrees, I'm not very keen on that. So I said, I'm going to keep my butt down south where, it doesn't get too cold. And they wanted me to come to Calgary one time too. And I've told this story before, and I got the map out. We didn't have internet then. I got the map out, and I'm looking, go up through here, goes to St. Louis, and keep going up in Montana or whatever. I said, nah, that's just way, way too far. If it's over 500, 600 miles, that was too far for me. So I didn't go.
Yeah, if you're starting at page 26 and you've got to drive all the way to page 48, you'd rather have to forget it.
Well, I didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't go, really. Because they told me that when you went to Calgary, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you leave on, I don't know, some day, and you don't get back to 5 days later or maybe 6. You're on the road all the time. I think Wayne Ferris told me that. You leave and you just make the loop, and you come back around for time to run Calgary again, and then you're back on the road again. That's too much. I might as well drive. Hey, really, I told the guys that, why don't you just get a truck route and do a double job? You just drive the truck to the next town and deliver some stuff, and then just keep making the route, and you can wrestle at night. So you're doubling up.
You wanted to briefly mention as well, the Insane Clown Posse have, I don't even think it's a particularly new wrestling show, but now Vince Russo's bought into the company, and you said you watched a couple of the initial offerings on the Insane Clown Posse's YouTube channel.
Well, I know the clowns, and I like the clowns. So they put out this information, and like a true wrestling reporter, wait a minute. Like
where's the flag? Where's the flag to throw on that? You throw it in yourself.
Oh, wait a minute. There it is. I don't leave home without it. But so I said, I'm going to watch this show now. Usually I don't watch wrestling shows. And the ones I'm talking about is like WWE, because 2 hours just drags by. I mean, and it's just matches and matches. And I mean, sometimes long matches. Well, you won't get this on Juggalo Wrestling because it was an hour and 20 minutes is their show. And the commercials are built in, and the commercials are, you know, who has a commercial on there? Who has the company out of Charlotte? I wish I could think of it now. But you can buy all kind of stuff from him. I forgot his name now. I know him. But anyway, I'm watching Juggalo. The matches aren't long. James Storm was on there. And James Storm's coming, and Ricky Morton's son's on there. Mm-hmm. And that was the first match they opened with on this episode. Wasn't a bad match. Didn't go long. And it surprised me that Ricky Morton's son actually, he beat James Storm. So that surprised me. And I think the matches are, I mean, they got some gimmicks on there, and it looks crowded, but it was much better than I thought it would be. Because I've worked for the Clowns before, and sometimes the show itself, I went to like they had a festival one time.
Yeah, the Gathering.
The Gathering. God, I went to this thing, and it's an all-night thing. They don't even shut down at night. I mean, it slows down. But I went to this gathering, and the matches started at 12 o'clock at night. So I was with Road Dogg and a few more guys I can't remember. And we actually got there late. We couldn't find it. Now, how can you not find someplace? And it was in the hills of Kentucky or Indiana, in the hills. And we got there. There was 20,000 people at this, I guess, festival. It wasn't a concert. It was a festival. And they had sound stages everywhere. I mean, different groups would come there, and they would perform at 3 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But the wildest thing I've ever seen. They put me in a match, and I've never been in a match like this before, and it was called Lights Out Match. And I was thinking, what the hell is a Lights Out match? They said, well, this is how it works. You get in the ring, and there's like five or six other guys in there with me, and they have a spotlight, and it's sweeping over the crowd, and every like 10 seconds, it will come back across the ring, and then it'll cover and they have two spotlights going. It's the damnedest thing you ever saw. So we ended that match, and we got out of there. And the people, this was like at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's the latest I've ever wrestled and the earliest I've ever wrestled at the same time. I set 2 records at the same time. So we got out, and the people were out there. They were half drunk. They were half doped up. They were half asleep. Probably if they had 400 people out there, which would be a lot at 4 o'clock in the morning, they had 400 people out there, at least 300 of them were asleep. So we were actually performing in front of people who were half dozing off. But hey, like a true pro who went and did it, mm-hmm. I did. So, and it was a long way up there too. It was about a 3-hour trip up there and a 3-hour trip back. And I think I got in the car at about 4:30 in the morning. And I got back it was about 8 o'clock in the morning I got back.
I've always heard they paid well.
Yeah, they paid pretty good. And they're nice guys.
So your contention is not bad. Lunacy is the show, by the way. So you watched a couple and not bad.
I was entertained. Let me say that. I was entertained. And he had a little storyline going, Vince did. And, Vince is not a bad on-screen talent, because you want to strangle him when he's out there talking talking to the fans. He's not bad. So I'm going to say I'm going to rate this show not an F and not an A, but in between. I'll give it like a C plus.
Not bad. Right, let's get to the news then, Dutch. This is another weird one, almost like Cowboy Bob Ellis. So, a month or two ago, a few months ago maybe, Cowboy Bob Ellis was thought to be the oldest, if not one of the oldest American pro wrestlers in the world at 95. And it turns out that he died back in 2018 and nobody noticed. Or at least nobody in the wrestling scene noticed. And this is almost kind of the same story. Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal. Now, he ended up... a bigger star in the AWA. He was like their light heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, feuding mostly with Buck Zumhoff, the infamous Buck Zumhoff. But also, he did well in Portland, and I don't know if it was because of any relationship with the AWA in Memphis at the time. He had quite a few stints in Memphis as well between 1980 to 83, so I suspect that you had some dealings with him, may have even wrestled him. So he died at the age of 73 years old, but back in July 30th. And it's only just been made known now. No cause of death was given.
So he's been passed away for like 6 months?
Yeah, almost, yeah. And just no one reported it.
Didn't hear a word about it.
I used to talk to him.
I think he was from Indiana. And I think he got his start in the old Bruisers territory. That's where he started. With a friend of his, I forgot the friend's name now because I've been hit on the head a couple of 100,000 times. But Steve was okay. He would just go and do his job. Nice guy, good in the ring, not a big drinker. And I didn't know him. Whatever he did with drugs, I didn't know, and never got in trouble. He was a straight guy, so I liked him. And then my condolences to his family, and I hope he didn't. What did he die of? They didn't know the reason, did they?
No, not announced. He was the son-in-law of wrestler Wilbur Snyder. Yeah,
I've heard that too. And Wilbur Snyder, this is years ago. He was one of the owners of that Indianapolis. I think at the Indianapolis territory. Wilbur Snyder, Dick the Bruiser, and another guy. They opened up a territory. See, that's what wrestlers used to do. They used to, go to these territories and they'd see the big houses. Well, if they made the money, they said, well, that's what we need to do. We don't need to be the wrestlers. We need to be the owners. Because the promoters used to call that getting first count. And that first count was an MFer, man. Mm-hmm. You see a house and you think it'd be $20,000, $30,000. They come back, it's 18. Wait a minute, there's a lot of people out there. Yep. Give a lot of free tickets. But see, you had no way to check. And with no way to check, if you try to delve further, what you're actually doing is calling the promoter just a liar. And that didn't speak well for your longevity there.
With Steve Regal, obviously it's not William Regal, just coincidence because William Regal used to wrestle as Steve Regal. But when I first started WSI in 2021, Mr. Electricity used to message me occasionally just with words of encouragement and stuff. He was really nice. I very much like messaging back and forth with him. Not heard from him in a while.
How did he encourage you?
He put comments on the YouTube. He DM'd me a few times, that kind of thing. But, yeah, he came across very, very well to me.
Well, he's a nice guy.
Shame, yeah.
I know nobody who ever had said a bad word about him. So, and I liked him. So, I mean, the key is me. If I liked him, he was okay. He
was also like an AWA and NWA light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Throughout your career,
he was about. I think at times I don't think he ever hit. When I knew him, he was very not a big guy.
Lean.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Because he wasn't short, but he was just like lean, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like maybe 200, maybe.
Got me drinking there. Was the NWA light heavyweight championship, just because I'm interested, because like your Nelson Royals and stuff would be multi-time champions. Was that belt ever seen in your career? Was that ever a big deal?
What, the light heavyweight championship?
Yeah.
No, most guys didn't want to be listed as light heavyweights because who made the money were the heavyweights. So if you were listed as a light heavyweight, you were already typecast. So if you had a guy, and you'd have to be almost as good as like a Rey Mysterio to be noticed. But most guys didn't want to be light heavyweights.
Next up, now do you want to roll your eyes now before I even talk about it? Because it involves numbers, it involves TV deals. We've got to mention it though, because it's in the world of media and it affects wrestling massively. We've got to mention it. Netflix
this is when
Paramount.
The fans listening will go like, "Oh God," and they go to sleep. But go ahead.
Oh, you see, for me, this is the interesting stuff. I like all this.
Yeah, I know. You love it.
Oh yeah. So, Warner Brothers Discovery, they own a million things, but they also have...
That's a TV organization.
Yes, they own TNT, TBS, basically everything that AEW is on.
Oh, yeah.
So, here's the thing. Netflix made an offer a couple of days ago to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. That company is over $30 billion in debt, with a B. And Netflix made a play... Let me just read this, for God's sake. To $27.75 per share just for the WB Warner Brothers production studios and also like intellectual property like DC Comics, Harry Potter, HBO Max, that kind of thing. And then Paramount swaggers in with like another $25 billion on top of it to also buy all of the channels as well. So that's TNT, TBS, and most importantly to them, CNN. So then, therefore, they've got
CNN.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Whoa.
So, and also, I think, where did I see it? The son-in-law of Donald Trump, I believe, where was it? Wasn't he like a founder of... Look, he's got some real close connections to Donald Trump, so CNN could end up turning into like Fox Sports Part 2.
This son-in-law, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where he got his money?
Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, wealth funds and stuff like that. No, I don't.
Yep, that's where he got it. So he's rolling in dough.
So basically...
When he gets up there that high, they lose me. Anything more than buying a TV and getting a cable network so you can carry it, it's beyond me. But go ahead and read.
Well, have you ever seen like a comparison between $1 million and $1 billion? Like, because you see it in, and this is an American billion, by the way. Now we operate on the American system for the word billion, but a billion here used to be $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now we've adopted the American way of it, and it is now 1,000 million. But just imagine like one M&M in a bowl represents $1 million, and then 1,000 M&Ms in a bowl.
Right.
And it is a unfathomably large gulf between those two. I mean, the money is obscene what stuff is going through. But yeah. And then when you're talking about 100 billion.
Yeah,
and they've got the cash. That's the thing. They've got the cash as well. It's not just...
But that's...
Yeah.
But that was part of the deal. It has to be cash.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand now. I mean, how would they buy it without cash?
I guess loans, I guess other assets that they would cash in to then pay for it, or, a payment plan over many years kind of thing. Whereas Paramount have the cash on the hip.
Okay, just to think that some people in this world have billions of dollars at their disposal is almost, I just can't imagine it. They can, I can't. So if they have billions and billions and billions of dollars, what was the final deal on this by Discovery? Or
we don't know yet. This is a fluid situation currently. So this Paramount thing only really happened yesterday, and now it's going back and forth even further. But I wanted to ask you, Dutch, because what if Netflix bought it, and then Netflix would own or have a stake in, not a stake in, but Netflix has Raw and all WWE programming. And then if they bought TNT and what, in fact, I don't think Netflix would they? But they would buy the HBO Max service, which has AEW on it. So it's interesting to see what happens really to AEW because Warner Brothers Discovery is so in debt. I think the deal comes up in a couple of years. Their media deal comes up in a couple of years. So who knows what is going to happen with AEW of all things.
Oh, I think they'll be fine. I really do. Don't you?
Yeah, probably, but I'm not sure they'll. Do you know how we keep saying, oh, this must be where it peaks? Television rights can't get any higher. And then they do every single time.
Yep. How long have people been saying that? 30 years?
At least, yeah. I remember when Sky bought the rights to the Premier League over here, and then it just kept going up and up and up. And every single time they thought they couldn't top the last time.
Let me ask you a theoretical question. You like that word? Theoretical?
Question? Oh, theoretical.
Go ahead in the future, 50 years, and what do you see the wrestling business being? You've never thought about that, have you?
What do you see it being? On the moon?
Well, I won't be here, so
anti-gravity pro wrestling.
Well, they've had to open up the moon and maybe a few more planets. It wouldn't be called worldwide; it'd be called universe-wide pro wrestling. I don't know. How much do you think it would change? Now, the moon, of course, you're weightless on the moon. So that would be a contrast in style. You're flying, whoa.
What if it went the other way? Because like how unbelievably scripted and like down to every move, and the agent is telling the referee to tell the wrestlers what to do when every step of the way, and there's nothing really genuine or off the cuff anymore. What if it went the other way, and then the biggest wrestling company in the world, whoever it might be, ends up trying to mimic UFC or mixed martial arts or amateur wrestling as close as possible because that's what the fans desire at that point? Do you think that's possible?
It is.
Think it's going to happen?
Nah. I just brought the question up. I have no idea where it's going to be in 50 years. I hope pretty close to what it is now and I was only kidding about the moon. The moon has no people, so I don't know how they can make money there selling tickets. They might be able to do it, with all this streaming and all this stuff on TV. It's a TV product anyway, so. But if they had
intergalactic
the first match,
rights,
no,
they could sell those to competing galaxies.
If they had the first wrestling match on the moon and it was cable, it was pay-per-view, I'd buy it just to see it. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, would you watch the highlights? I mean, if it was WWE who did it, you just wait for 2 hours and then watch the highlights because they post it on their own YouTube channel and give it away.
Well, something to think about.
Okay. Next up,
where's this TV stuff going?
Oh, I don't know. No idea.
Okay.
You're
the expert on that.
No. Well, no one knows. That's the thing. Right, we'll move on to actual wrestling then. Jey Uso. So remember last week?
Yeah.
I think I made an impassioned.
He pitched a hissy fit.
Yes, he did.
A hissy fit. What is a hissy fit, by the way?
It's what Jey Uso pitched.
Yeah, that's what it was. A tantrum.
So he does a little tantrum thing, and then he looks like he's turning heel. And then this week they completely ignored it. Didn't make mention of it at all. Jimmy, the Interrupter, AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee.
So why do you think he's going heel? Because he pitched the fit?
Well, okay, all right then. So I made a video last week and just said I'm sick of Jey Uso because I find the whole shtick boring and they dedicate too much time to the entrances. And you know how we always talk about the entrances? It takes like 12 minutes for an entrance, and you have a birthday waiting for it.
WWE, I love you to death, guys, but come on. I mean, some of those entrances are way, way too long. You know who he is. By the time he gets to the ring, hey. And I don't think nobody is buying a ticket or watching on TV just to see him walk down the aisle.
Well, I'm not sure they're paying anything to watch him wrestle either, because I said also, it's like, yeah, I guess he's okay in the wrestling portion of it, but do you know what? I don't think he's the same as a Gunther or a Seth Rollins or a CM Punk or a Brock Lesnar or a Roman Reigns. I don't think he belongs in that class, the main event stars. And I said the best thing for him to do is go back to a tag team.
But one thing you can say he's got, with a little help from the higher ups in WWE, he has longevity. How long has he been there?
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you how long. How long?
15.
At least. He was there when I was there in 2014, and he was there, and he'd been there like a year then. So that's how 2014, he'd been there a while.
Oh, yeah.
So it was 11 years since I was there or started there. But back in the day, I'm talking, of course, your viewing audiences were much smaller. And when a guy got stale, it was time for him to go. And the only thing that compares to buying tickets was ratings numbers or viewership. And I think since he's been there so long, nothing to do with his talent, nothing to do with his ability to have a good match, nothing. It's just that the fans they're just worn out on him. And I think turning them heel, people go, and I think they've figured it out now. Oh, they're going to turn him bad guy to see what they can get out of him. And most of the time people have that figured out. And even if they turn him back, it doesn't make a difference. So what happened back in the days when the guys got stale, it was the talent knew it was time to leave because his money went down. And the promoter knew it was time for him to leave because whenever they tried to do something with him in the main event or whatever, they called it being burnt. We burned him. So, and nothing against him. It's just, it's just a cycle that all wrestlers back in the day went through. And I think, and now they're doing it not only on a national stage, an international stage. So if the Usos come on and when they were really hot, yeah, you would watch the match. But if they're not hot, they're just another match. You actually are doing more damage to them. You're doing a disservice to them by trying to do something with them when there's no heat behind them at all. There's no push behind them. So
what did
they
you
can do what they want to do, but I think it would take something big. But again, where are they going to go? I think TKO is such a big company. They can say, guys, take time off and we'll pay you half your money while you're home. Or we'll pay you 30. They may make like $500,000 a year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
$500,000 to make 2 TVs and a house show, maybe, and a pay-per-view.
But that's what I was going to ask you. How do you sit someone home for 6 months when they're on guaranteed 7-figure contract?
Well, you pay them and send them home.
That's fine that TKO can afford it, but I mean, for any other wrestling company in the history of the world, you can't do it. I mean, I know Tony Khan does it as well, but for other reasons.
But that is the drawback of the old time system, because you're not going to send somebody home, and especially in the old days, because you couldn't afford it. You might as well keep him out there, and you're paying him. But if you're paid off the house, so to say, it's the way most guys used to be paid, off the gross receipts of a house. You can actually starve out there depending on that. And that's why you saw so many guys floating between territories. They go to one territory and they were promised this, and when they get there, they don't get it. So they said, well, screw this, I'm leaving. Don't blame them.
Yeah, I think some people can stay on TV a long time. I just, like with Jey Uso, I just think he's been overpushed. And I don't know if other people feel that way, but I do. And he's just somebody who's just, skip. He's one of the skip people now. Because you can only do the entrance so many times before it's redundant. And then
who are you?
And basically, he's an entrance. I mean, like, no one's saying, wow, did you see that Jey Uso match?
I do. I say it every week. I'll text you every week. Wow, Jey Uso was on TV. Wow. See? So who is the hottest thing in WWE right now?
Funnily enough, one of the hottest people in WWE right now is LA Knight. He seems to get more and more popular. Whether he wins or loses, people don't get sick of him. Not been sick of him in 2 years.
Well, I see a part of Steve Austin in him. Yeah. But see, that is his own gimmick. He was doing that in TNA. I was there with him then, and he's a good talker. Very good talker. So,
but that's a good question though. Who's really hot in WWE? Anyone?
Gunther.
We'll get to Gunther in a minute, in fact. Just before
and who was one of the first super fans of Gunther on this show?
What, on this show? Yeah. Narrows it down to 2 people.
Yes. And who was the fan?
We'll say
I loved him. I still like him because he went out there with that serious style and he got over. And he's a big guy. So, and they dumped the manager because he didn't need him anyway. I think the manager kind of took away from him. He didn't need a manager.
So let's say you can't send somebody home. Let's say you can't get rid of them because they're on a guaranteed contract and they're not going to go anywhere. How best to combat someone going stale then? Because I think in Jey Uso's case, turning heel won't make any sense. And then in the video that I made last week, and I'm not saying WWE took my idea because I very highly doubt anybody watched, but I said you might as well dump him back in the tag team division because that division's also desperate for established teams to, get it going. And then the next week they did it. And I thought, wow, I called that one. And I thought that's probably the best place for Jey Uso. Call him off, get rid of him out the main event picture for a bit, try again later. How would you do it?
I don't know. To me, the answer, you can do this with some guys. I don't think you could do it with the Usos. I'm saying they're typecast as they are, and try to put them in another, what they call gimmick, wouldn't it backfire. I don't care what it is. People say that is stupid. And we're not, and the people, they get mad. And when people get mad, they just don't buy it. And you can tell when the people are pissed off, they boo the hell out of them. Because they're telling the creative, look, guys, we're not that stupid. We're not going to buy this. So keep thinking. And we'll tell you when we see it's something we like. And that's what they're doing. There's nothing against the Usos. Great team. I mean, these guys they grew up in wrestling. So they know wrestling from go to woe. But we're not talking about the Usos now. We're talking about the fans after seeing 10 or 12 or when did they get to WWE? I just asked you this.
Yeah, 2010. 2010.
See, and that's a lot. 15 years is a lot to ask out of the fans. So, but I hope everybody lands safely. I think they will. They've made money. I hope everybody lands safely. But, it is what it is. This is a time-sensitive business.
Gunther is John Cena's opponent. Gunther defeated LA Knight on SmackDown to be named as John Cena's final opponent at Saturday night's main event this coming weekend.
Yep.
Is Gunther the right man for the job?
Oh yeah, I think so. Because once he won over Goldberg, he's a legend killer. That's what he is. Which leads me to this match, and I don't think everybody can say that's the part of being a fan. How do you think it's going to end? It's like, actually, this is like two boxers. Who do you think is going to win this match? Boxing, when you have those championship matches, you have a favorite and you may respect the other guy, but you want your favorite to win. I think in this position, they don't want to hurt Gunther. So him taking a loss at this part really sends him off on a high note. If he won, it sends him off on a high note. But why would WWE want to send him off on a high note? Unless they're going to use him in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which they won't. John Cena did an interview that released very early today, your time, unless it was like midnight or something, I can't work it out, where he said that he has re-signed with WWE, but purely in a ambassadorship role. And after this match, he is done wrestling, and he's also done with any physicality. So that's it.
So was Terry Funk. You know how many retirement matches Terry Funk had?
Not quite a few. Right, I think it's a misnomer. You know that Terry Funk, the famous one in Japan in the early 80s where he goes, forever, forever, forever. That was his second retirement. He actually retired once before for about a year or so. I think he just said he was done and whatever else, and then that was actually his second retirement.
See, an old wrestler told me one time, he says, it's not how you get into business, it's how do you get out. That's the secret. Because most wrestlers, unlike those big money makers, they can get out, but they don't want to. And a lot of guys that never made enough money or whatever, they have a hard time getting out because it's what they know. So I think this Gunther finish, it could be a lot. He could actually beat Cena, which is going to, but this is a high note. Or where does that leave Gunther? See, Gunther has to somehow not get beat in this, or he could get, see, it can go either way. It's according to what kind of mood they're in. And it's what kind of mood Triple H is in when he's thinking about this. Give me a finish that you think would be acceptable and what they're going to do.
Well, what did you think? Right, so you saw the interview that Gunther did on Raw.
That was a good interview.
Yeah, interview. And he's talking about a submission. He said, I'm going to submit you. And they sort of propagated the lie that Cena had never submitted, which is untrue. He submitted 4 times. Jericho, Benoit, Kurt Angle twice.
That's not the point. Are you saying that somehow pro wrestling somehow stretches the truth?
Did you know that Andre the Giant was undefeated for 15 years before WrestleMania 3?
I'm throwing the flag.
Would you believe?
All right, go ahead.
So yeah, he has submitted, but not often. But the point is that Gunther, he debuted with LA Knight, I think, like a new submission hold. Don't ask me to demonstrate it on myself, but it's like it's whatever it is. It's like a different head crank kind of thing. And I'm wondering, is it going to end up being a submission match, or do you think that Gunther is going to submit again like he did with Jey Uso? And then, because after he submitted to Jey Uso, they manipulate the fans into chanting, "You tapped out" for weeks on end, and it ended up building on Gunther's character more. So do you think tapping out for Gunther would actually give him something to play off of?
Yeah, but he needs an edge if he's going to tap out. He needs an edge.
Such as?
So, who did Gunther beat? Gunther beat
LA Knight.
Knight.
In the finals, yeah.
So I'm saying, booking, I want to go forward with this. So I will try to do something in this match that if he does lose, that if Cena loses, which is what I hope they do, but with a screw job, but it's something that's believable. Because then that gives, so you can have your last match and then have your last match. And say if he somehow that LA Knight gets involved, but it backfires or something, and he ends up doing that to Cena, and they card him out, which gives Cena one chance to get revenge, even though he said, I'm not going to have any more matches. Then he has one more match, and then he actually beats Gunther. See, he's never worked with Cena before, has he? Have they had any matches before?
I don't think so.
And believe me, in that creative room, they're throwing these ideas back and forth, and they're all going. If Triple H is sitting there, he's hearing this and he's hearing this. Of course, he has his own ideas. Other people giving him ideas. Cena giving him ideas. Gunther, I don't think, has been in the business long enough to really give that much of an idea. But I think Gunther is hot now, and I think you cannot build a baby face without you have a strong heel. You just can't do it. I mean, you can have these baby faces go out there and just beat these regular heels. They don't get over. But when you got that legend killer like Gunther that has that past behind him and all he's done, now he can say, I beat Goldberg, I beat the Unbeatables, I beat Cena, and maybe give him one more, and then Cena has one more, maybe SummerSlam. Or WrestleMania, he could come back.
I'm gonna just.
Maybe I'm thinking SummerSlam though. WWE, they take their time with these angles.
I searched. So if you wonder what that,
where is SummerSlam at this year?
Oh God, I don't know. It's probably in Saudi Arabia, like everything else. No, where is it? Where did you say?
Where's WrestleMania? It's in Vegas, right?
Yeah. And SummerSlam 2026 is in, where's the US Bank Stadium? Minneapolis. There you go.
Okay.
2 nights.
See, I've been a Gunther supporter since I saw him. Because he's like he's a guy that, he's the type of guy that the old WWF promotion would use. They love guys like Gunther because he wasn't a high flyer, and he would just go out there and just beat guys up, and that's what and I bet if you could take Gunther, he's I call him an intergenerational talent, because he would have fit back in with the old WWF when Bruno was there. He would have been a perfect opponent for Bruno because Bruno had built trust with the fans, and that's something you don't build easily, because he was champion for 8 years too. So that's one reason that people couldn't believe that he would get beat. But he was really over. Cena is really over. So I think, and before, remember when Gunther took a loss for somebody, and it kind of teed me off. I went, why would you mess with this guy's trajectory? He is on his way to becoming a superstar, a superstar, and they slow him down. See? But see, you have to have that trained eye, James.
John Cena.
Spot these guys in the distance.
John Cena Sr. would disagree with you, Dutch. So the father of John Cena did an interview, wherever it was, I don't know. And he said about Gunther, well, it certainly
He didn't, wait a minute, he didn't say nothing about me, though, did he?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, anyway.
I was going to call him up.
Says, well, as far as who he would like to see as his son's final opponent, well, it certainly wouldn't be Gunther, that's for sure.
It wouldn't be Gunther.
It wouldn't be Gunther. I don't think...
What's that tell you? What's that tell you?
Well, the explanation he gives is that I don't think that's a wise move. I don't think the fans would enjoy that move. Myself, personally, Gunther does not need the rub. And by the way, I'm not a fan of, on the way out, you've got to push somebody over the top. You're supposed to pass the torch. I don't know whether that's written anywhere in professional wrestling. So he offered a load of different names. But in this first interview, he said he would like, Dominic Mysterio, number 1, which would have been fine. I think Dominic Mysterio was fine for Survivor Series. You're not going to blow your nose, are you?
No.
All right.
I'm getting ready. I know you're going to say something silly here.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to quote something. He says, number 2, he would have liked to have seen Adam Copeland, Edge, who is contracted to AEW, so that's not going to happen. And then he said number 3, he would like to see Chris Jericho as number 3. And then on his part, for number 4, you will never guess this in a million years, John Cena Sr. said he would love to have seen John Cena face JBL in his retirement match.
Well, I don't know if JBL, he'd probably do it, but I don't think the match would be. JBL hadn't been in the ring in
he retired
years,
in like 2009 or something.
That's what I'm saying. So
he also suggested in a follow-up interview he would have preferred Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, or Jacob Fatu. One Jacob Fatu, I think, has been injured. Not injured, he was doing dental work or something, and that's why he had to be off. Plus, he's a babyface. LA Knight, he's a babyface. And Solo Sikoa, I can't imagine that would get the greatest reaction in the world.
No. And I think LA Knight is a bad choice. Gunther is the choice. Because now the fans are doing the same thing we're doing. I don't know what's going to happen. The fans don't know what's going to happen. Creative might not know what's even going to happen because it can change. It can change up to 10 minutes before that match. And I've seen that happen. They talk all week long. We do this and this and this and this. And, you know, and the two guys, they have their match all together. And at the end, and I told you about the time the finish changed within the match.
You did? And that involved the Usos, in fact.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going, what the hell? They're changing the finish now? They're like 3 minutes away from it, and they changed it. I've never had that happen to me in my life. But I still think they need to do something strong for Gunther. He's going forward. Cena is going to finish up, or they think he's going to finish up, but let's say Gunther hurts him somehow and they card him out or whatever. People are going to be pissed off. But then he can still do everything he's got to do. He's just not in wrestling shape. And then he's got one more match with Gunther, redemption match. I've already named it, redemption.
Okay, well, you've said what you'd like to see happen, but who do you think is going to win? Let's say there's no follow-up match. Who will win on the night?
Now, this is on Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah, this Saturday, in fact, yeah.
This Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
When does this play?
Tomorrow. So plenty of time.
Okay. Well, I'd like to see Gunther win and do that angle. That's what I'd like to see. Because now they have something to talk about, and it makes all the sense in the world. Gunther's an up-and-comer. He's a legend killer. You can't kill a bigger legend in wrestling than John Cena. I'm not saying kill him, but beat him, and that's what he gets his hand up. And, of course, you got to work a decent outcome in there, a decent finish. So, but it's up to them. Now, when they hear this, they're going to be calling me. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Calling you what?
Son of a... No, WWE. I look at it, WWE. Hello. Okay, man. Okay. Hey, I got a show too, you know. But hey, it's going to be interesting. And I'm gonna jump their viewership up right now. Mm. I'm going to watch that match.
Mm. Have you still got Peacock?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
I do have Peacock. That's Paramount, right?
No, that's NBC.
Well, I have Paramount. Are they on? Well,
they are not on Paramount.
So I don't get it.
You're stuffed then, aren't you? You have to watch the highlights. No, it's on Peacock. Which, you know, all the pay-per-views used to be on for the last few years. You used to have Peacock. Have you cancelled it now?
No.
Well, you might have it.
I do have it. I know I have it because I watched the pay-per-view not too long ago.
Well, there you go then. Well, you've got it then. Well, you can watch it this Saturday.
All right. Hey, it don't matter. I don't have to watch it. I just need to know what they did in the finish. Is all I need to know. So if you see it before I do, call me up and you said, well, are you sick? Yeah. I go, yeah. But they have a golden opportunity here. See, that's the beauty of creative. They need to see this. But Triple H, he has to make them see it. Of course, if they don't see it, they're blind because they've been building toward this. But I think Gunther is at the spot they need him in, and John Cena too. See, there'll be other opportunities. Even though John Cena is my last match, of course it's his last match because the people see it. But it ended. If it ends and he loses, he has this one more chance, and that's all. I mean, even if that does happen, he has one more chance, and you can write him off.
Okay, next up is The Rock gets a Golden Globe nomination. You must have read this. I mean, this is quite impressive for somebody who started off as, the Scorpion King and, goofy comedies and what kind of thing, all that kind of caper. And now he's made a definite effort to be considered a serious actor, or at least attempt to become a serious actor.
I heard it was very good. And I heard that he played a hell of a role. He didn't play The Rock. See, The Rock in all his movies up to now has always been The Rock. But now he took the time and the effort and going through the makeup. And if you didn't know I saw a picture of him a long time ago, and they said, who is this man? I didn't know who he was because they had him made up in such a way that who did he play? Kerr? What was his?
Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine.
Mark Kerr, yeah. He looked nothing like him.
He didn't look anything like Mark Kerr either. He didn't look like The Rock or Mark Kerr.
No, that's what I'm saying. But at least you can tell, it's The Rock playing a character, which was fine. That's what the movies are. But I think he did from what I saw, the excerpts of it, he did a hell of a job. And I think this award that he's been offered up for, or he's in contention for, I think he'll win it.
Do you know about all these? I'm not saying that they've done it, but I'm sure they've all done it. Is, they find out who's on the panel to decide who gets nominated, and then all of a sudden all the gifts, all the presents, all the greasing of the palms kind of thing gets sent out in hopes that they, one, get nominated, and two, maybe even get picked to win it kind of thing.
I wish I could be on that panel.
Yeah, you get a nice Rolex watch.
Okay, who's he competing against?
I'll find out 1 second. So,
how many people on the panel?
Oh, I don't know how many people on the panel. I can tell you. So this is Best Male Actor Drama. 6 people: Joel Edgerton, Train Dreams, Oscar Isaac, Frankenstein, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Smashing Machine.
Oscar Isaac?
Yes.
Oscar Isaac is a hell of an actor.
What else has he been in?
He's been in a lot of stuff. I cannot remember right now, Oscar Isaac, but he's a good actor. Very good.
Frankenstein, Moon Knight, Scenes from a Marriage, Ex Machina, Dune. Oh, I was in Dune. X-Men Apocalypse. There you go. A couple more names: Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Wagner Maurer, The Secret Agent, and Jeremy Allen White, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. God, I hate Bruce Springsteen. Most overrated artist in the world. There you go. That'll get some comments. Can't bloody stand it.
Do you think he's the most overrated artist in the world?
Awful. He's like Sex Pistols level overrated.
I cannot believe you said that.
Do you like Bruce?
Not really, but I like some of the stuff he did.
Which ones? The one where Courtney Cox dances with him in the dark.
Yeah, he's done some decent stuff. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I was kind of a fan. But when people let out their politics, believe me, it does change your opinion on him. So I think if you're in the public eye, keep some of this stuff to yourself, because you're trying to make money with people buying your stuff. And when you go out on the limb and say something that they don't agree with, well, they just don't have anything else to do with you.
I've got a question for you. You know Jeremy Allen White. Have you seen The Bear where he's the chef.
Jerry Allen White.
Jeremy
What else has
Allen
he been
White.
in?
Well, actually, he was in The Iron Claw as one of the brothers. I think he was Kerry?
Okay, so wasn't he the star?
No, that was the other guy. You know.
Oh, the other star. The other star.
Yeah, no, he was not the star.
We
He was one
don't
of the other
know.
stars.
Who's in it? Oh, I don't know. Some people, whatever. Some actors.
No, but have you never seen The Bear?
The Bear.
Yeah, he's a chef in it. It's on FX or Disney Plus over here.
Give me the plot of it or the storyline of it.
Well, it's about an 800-pound brown bear that is
I like it already.
Conscripted.
Is that bear nominated for anything?
No, not this year, unfortunately.
Okay.
He didn't grease enough palms. No, it's about an 800-pound bear who becomes a line cook at Waffle House.
I didn't see that. But now, since you described it so aptly, I'm going to have to go out of my way to see that.
Someone should make that.
That's good.
Apparently Emily Blunt is also nominated for her performance. The funny thing is that everyone kind of just goes, oh, I heard it was good. Because no one went to see it. I was determined to go and see it. I couldn't get an evening off to go. Just because I've been just so busy recently. And then by the time I had time, it was already out of cinemas. It wasn't even in the cinemas very long. So I'm waiting for it to come on Sky TV, which, you know, should be in a month or two, and then I'll do a review. But I actually want to watch it because I loved Mark Kerr. I was a big MMA fan, and I want to see this Golden Globe nominated acting performance by The Rock, who doesn't look like Mark Kerr or anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Right then, let's go. Sting on Tony Khan. Here's some quotes for you. You tell me what you think about them. While speaking to Going Ringside at a signing in Palm Beach Autographs over the weekend, Sting was asked to compare the runs he had in TNA, WWE, and AEW. Sting responded by expressing how much of a natural fit AEW was for him. So he says, they're all different in some ways, but the thing I liked about AEW is it just felt like my brand. It felt like home to me. Going Ringside then asked Sting if AEW boss Tony Khan was a good person to work for, and he said he was the best, he was phenomenal, treated me like gold the whole way through. If it wasn't for Tony, I wouldn't have had the run that I had. And Darby Allin, my partner as well. So, a glowing review from Sting there, because, I mean, I imagine Tony paid him incredibly well, and two, I imagine he didn't tell Sting to do anything he didn't want to do.
Yep. Because those checks go a long way. And yeah, he didn't, Sting went there, and they probably asked Sting what he wanted to do. Say they probably didn't want to go tell him that they're not going to tell him to lose or tell him this. They say, how can we do this? And Sting probably came up with his own outcomes. So of course, if he's making the money that he was making, yeah. What is to dislike? And he would make the TV, and then he'd be gone. He didn't make. Did he make any of the house events? Of the live events?
There were barely any. I think he may have done a few, especially on his retirement tour. Yeah.
Didn't he do the... who did he do the retirement tour match against?
It was him and Darby and the Young Bucks. That was the finale.
That was in Charlotte, right? Or no?
Good question. I know it was Revolution, the pay-per-view, but I'd have to look. But yeah.
Didn't they have that big Greensboro Coliseum? Weren't they in there or no?
Hey, they sold it out. Revolution 2024, and it was...
Hey, to sell out Greensboro, that's 20,000 people.
Yeah, North Carolina, Greensboro. That's good memory, for goodness sake. Beat me out there. Well done.
Yeah, it was in Greensboro. Yeah, that big Coliseum.
Hmm.
So that's where he had his last match, right?
Yeah.
And Flair was there. And
unfortunately, yes, Flair was there as well, moving like custard rustling. He barely shifted at all.
I'm going to tell him you said that. I cannot believe you're talking behind my buddy Ric Flair's back.
If I was talking behind his back, I'd pause the recording and then talk to you about it.
That's the best part of it. That was the best part of the podcast when you said that. Did you record? Did you stop it really?
No, of course I didn't. No.
Good. That's the best part of it. But yeah, that was the main house show or the city that kept Jim Crockett Promotions in business. I mean, when you go in there and in the 70s and the 80s, and even up to the late 80s, they were still going in there and selling out. And that was for a regional territory. So,
hey, I've got a question for you that I'm not sure I ever asked you. So when you and Sting were in TNA, over those quite a substantial number of years in the 2000s, would you often deal with Sting, or would basically Dixie Carter deal with Sting personally for the most part?
No, I produced some of his stuff, some of his interviews.
Easygoing guy, or
protect his brand a lot? I knew Steve back when he first came into Memphis.
You were his manager. People forget.
Yeah, I was. Believe me, they were greener than green. So they asked me. I think Jerry Jarrett was still the booker. And Jerry Jarrett used to chew tobacco, and he went, "Well, Dutch," spit in his cup, "I got these two boys here, and they need some help. I want to put you in the corner with them so you can help them out." Yeah, I said, I'll do it. I'll go out there with them. Green is not the word. I mean, it was almost, Sting was better than Ultimate Warrior. Of course, that's not hard to fathom, because Ultimate Warrior really always had that muscle man, that strong man stiffness to him. And he moved that way too. So they lasted there about not long, because business wasn't good. This was, what year were they in Memphis? Do you know?
Ooh, around 85, 86, something like that.
Business was down because that's when the Vince McMahon, takeover was going on, and all these mom and pops territories were going out of business, and business was down. And somebody asked me, why didn't Warrior, and because he wasn't Warrior then, I gave them a new name. They were something.
Blade Runners they were at the time.
And I had seen the movie The Blade Runners. I said, let's call them that. Don't call them whatever they wanted to be called. I said, Blade Runners at least has a little bit of a ring to it.
Hey, they were Power Team USA, and then they were the Freedom Fighters briefly. Then they were the Blade Runners.
The Freedom Fighters. And I said, wait a minute, is this 1964 again? Is this the civil rights?
Tune in next week for the returning adventures of.
Yeah, they were terrible. But Sting, they had to leave because somebody said, why did they have to leave? I said, hell, they had to eat. I says, I don't think Jerry was paying them enough to even cover their food bill. So, and Sting ended up going to Mid-South with Bill Watts, and he did good down there. Bill Watts always had an eye for talent, and he pushed him, and that's when Jim Ross was still with him and still with the Mid-South territory. And I don't know where Warrior went. I think he went to Dallas, and he did okay in Dallas. And when Vince saw him, there was his guy, the muscle guy. He was always, he loved the muscle guys. So, and he loved Warrior, and he built him. But Sting he was over anyway. But then when he went to Atlanta, in WCW, they got him over big time.
But with TNA, because I think you said yes, but we kind of got lost in the other story. Is creatively speaking or giving direction and stuff, was Sting just always easy to deal with, no problems kind of thing, or would he raise issues here and there, or
What we ran into in TNA a lot, if a guy like Sting or a name other than that made their name in WCW or WWE or F, if they didn't like something, they would just go directly to Dixie with it, because creative could be jumped, which is what made it hard dealing with these guys, because if they didn't like it, and I don't care who they were, an X Division guy could go to Dixie, and if she liked him and he put her over enough and made her feel feminine or attractive or whatever, and then she would come, and she had a lot of the Southern belle came out in her, and she'd say, Dutch, so-and-so came to see me, and he thinks that maybe we might need to rethink him doing this because he doesn't think it's good for his character. And what do you think? So, hell, I'm an employee too, and I'm trying to explain the wrestling business to her was like trying to explain rocket science to a kid on a baseball diamond. She just didn't get it and didn't know where we were going with it. And I'd always tell her, okay, we'll see if I can, I'll see if I can do something about it. Of course, here I'd go, well, hell, guys, so-and-so don't like to finish, so what do you want to do? I throw it at them. I throw it at Jeff, and I throw it at Vince. What do you want to do? I'm not getting in the middle of it. So now they got it. So let them figure it out.
Moving on. Saraya, formerly Paige of WWE, she was on her, whatever it is, and she said there was a recent signing in Chicago and a fan inappropriately touched her. Saraya and her guests were discussing Ariana Grande being recently accosted by a fan at the Wicked for Good premiere when she said,
lately, I feel like there's been like an influx of like certain fans feeling way too comfortable to be grabbing on females. Just this past weekend in Chicago, a fan decided he wanted to slap my ass 3 times in a row because he thought it was funny. But I'm just, and like security didn't do a thing. That's insane. They end up coming up to me afterwards and was like, do you want us to escort him out and whatever the case is? But it was already nearly done. You know what I mean? It was just like, it's too late in the day.
They shouldn't be putting that on you.
Yeah, but they did give me a security guard in the end, and he was great, which is fine. But the fans are getting way too comfortable, and this is the second time this year that a fan has touched me, tried to kiss me, and slapping my ass. 9 times out of 10, all the fans are great, right? But you always get at least one per signing that gets a little too comfortable, a little too handsy, like, or thinks that they like have like this parasocial relationship with you. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's happening to it, like. Everyone. It's happening to a lot of people. Or like this.
Dutch, are you sick of the fans getting a little too handsy with you?
The next woman that touches me, I'm going to raise hell.
I was thinking the guys.
No, I'm getting groped. I hate that. Especially going to the ring, when they grab me down here. That was embarrassing too. No, that is a problem. And fans know they shouldn't do that. I mean, would you go and see a Hollywood actress and try to touch her? Well, they'd be all over you. Because and I got to say that the security with the Hollywood people are a lot tighter than what wrestling has. Yeah, I don't think these guys, they should know it anyway. Don't touch the talent guys. You're there to get the autograph or to talk to them or whatever, not to touch them. And actually, if the fan smacked her butt, that's basically assault. But you couldn't. It'd be not even worth it trying to prosecute him. But the security needed to throw him out. Said no, you got to leave. And until they understand that, they will continue to do that. I'm on her side on this. Don't touch the talent. If you go to one of these shows, don't do it.
Did it get worse over the years?
I'm sure it has.
I mean, to you personally, like, did you? I'm not talking about people groping you or anything, but did you ever, did you ever get to the point where like fans were, this whole parasocial relationship, or fans getting too familiar or trying to start an argument with you or something? Did that escalate over the years, or in your experience, have fans pretty much been good and on
With
the
me
level?
personally, no, it was fine with me. And I've had a few guys come out and want to start an argument. Of course, I'd have to beat the crap out of them
Yeah,
and
I'm
leave
sorry
them.
about that, by the way.
Yeah, I'd have to beat the shit out of them and leave them laying over there, just as a message to the other fans that wanted to start something.
What
Yeah,
if?
but
What?
I've never really got into anything with the guys. I've had a few sharp words back and forth. I told the guy to get away from the table. Hey, I'm not there to argue. I'm there to make money, and you're there to see me or who else is at the signing convention that I'm at or wherever. It's not like the actual going to the actual matches. Now, I had a lot of trouble there. Fought a lot of fans, punched a few, and I got punched myself a time or two. But yeah, fans need to hold themselves to a certain decorum and don't touch the talent.
Unless specifically invited. It's no wonder that MJF makes people stand over the other side of the room with him. So over there, over there. You're too close. Over there.
Yeah,
Keep
but part of
5 meters
that's
away.
part of that's his gimmick.
I've got a feeling it's probably more him, and or at least he can get away with it because of his character. It's like,
Yes.
great, I've got an excuse to keep these people as far away as possible.
Well, you don't know if that works for him, and of course, I doubt if the people are like saying they're getting mad at him because that's his character. Stand over there, and the people move over because he's actually interacting with them. So they'll put up with that if that is his character. But if you tried to, if I tried to do it, people get mad as hell at me. I said, "What? I got to stand over there because they want to come right up to the table and where they can touch you. I don't mind somebody being close, just don't touch me." And but MJF, he can get by with it, but other people can't.
I'm trying to think of so many different examples recently. So Rhea Ripley had someone knocking at a door, but there's the airport stuff with Liv Morgan. There was that guy, that maniac who tried to kidnap Sonya Deville. There's been
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley who was harangued, accosted in the streets in France by people. There was also this from Jey Uso.
I saw something in France where somebody was walking by themselves to the car.
Yeah, that was Rhea. That was Rhea Ripley, and just
Well,
like she got mobbed.
right. Well, they got to realize that the talent has to realize too that they're international celebrity. People know them. They're on TV. You're right in somebody's living room. So a lot of people feel as though they know you personally. So
I think it depends on the country.
It.
It depends on the country because I'll give you an example. Do you remember House, the show House?
I do. The
Right.
doctor.
Yeah, so Hugh Laurie, he said
Yeah.
in an interview years ago, when I'm in the States, I am like descended upon. Like he was like a megastar, television star over there. Like really, like he couldn't go anywhere, pretty much. Whereas over here, he's been a huge star for decades for loads of different things. But he can just walk the streets fine. Someone might come up, say hello, or ask for a photo. Yep, not a problem. And then carry on with their day. Whereas WWE stars, it might be one thing in the States, but when you're going over to somewhere like France or wherever it might be, I don't know, I don't want to keep picking on France, then it might be the inverse. Like if you're a domestic star, it's one thing, but if you're an international star in an international country where you're where you're not there very often, then the fan reaction can be more intense.
So why did Rhea make this mistake by going to the car by herself? She didn't understand how they were. Nobody told her.
I guess not. No,
Well,
I don't even think she was near the arena. I think she was like leaving a hotel or something, and she was being descended upon.
Well, when I was there, when we would fly into a different city, the fans would find out what flight we were on, And the difference then was like in the luggage area in the States, people could come in there. Internationally, they can't.
Yeah, they can't hear. Definitely
they
not.
block them. So when we would get there in the States, we were going to a city, they would find out somehow when the talent would be coming in. They'd be sometimes like 30 or 40 people there waiting for us to come in. And by the time you got your bag and you were leaving, I mean, you were mobbed. And a lot of times you sign the picture, sign this, sign. But see, they didn't want to sign it because they were fans. They wanted you to sign it so they could go and sell it online. So it was a business to them.
Oh, still probably now as well, I think.
Oh, it probably is.
Well, I mean, the airport and hotel professional fans, I imagine, absolutely. It is as well. Can I just say this is...
But in some of the hotels, they've started kicking these people out. They had to. Because are you staying here? No. Who are you waiting on? Well, nobody really. Well, you have to get out. They would run them out of the lobby because it would be packed. Some of these hotel lobbies aren't that big. And you got a bunch of people down there. Anybody who wants to check in, they come in there on top of that. They don't like it.
Jey Uso recently also asked fans to not touch or poke him in public. What a thing to have to ask.
What now?
So what a thing to have to ask. Do not touch or poke me in public. Apparently that's such a big problem for Jey Uso that he has to make a public service announcement. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm wondering if fans are getting worse or if just more wrestlers are feeling empowered enough to vent their frustrations. Kevin Owens was another one as well.
Well, I'm sure that Jey has had that problem, and Kevin Owens too. But if you're in a hurry to go and you're already tired, I think it's you're tired because of the tour, and you're tired of the. I think the talent today doesn't travel like we used to. See, we used to be in these towns on a regular basis, but now we used to go to a town, say Greensboro, North Carolina. They was there once a month. That's it. You didn't come in and it was a big show. So you'd have a lot of fans coming from South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, and they were coming all down the East Coast, putting 20,000 people in that Greensboro arena. Now they come like once a year. So if you're only going to see a talent one time, well, you're excited. I got that. And they are a little more emboldened. Let me say that.
It's a good word.
Because when they used to, you like that word?
Oh, I like the word.
So yeah, the fans, they don't need to do that, but security also needs to be there too.
A few more things, and we're going to end the show. I know I always threaten that, and you always say, hang on, you told me we were going to... Anyway. AJ Styles. John Cena has declared AJ Styles the nicest man in wrestling. We're going to ask you, Dutch, in a minute, for your Mount Rushmore of the nicest people in wrestling. You can't say yourself. So anyway, John Cena made an appearance on the Bill Simmons podcast this week and says that AJ Styles is such a good guy. So I'm going to give you the quote now.
I love anecdotes. The first time I ever worked with AJ Styles.
Yeah.
He is the nicest human being in sports entertainment. And I always have I can find some energy of like, you said this about me in an interview once, or like, man, I don't like the way you work or whatever. AJ's such a good guy. And I sat down and I'm like, man, this is going to be okay. Why are we fighting? I said, what do you mean? Why are we fighting? I want to be the champ. That's not good enough. Take a second to yourself, figure out why we're fighting. I went on my bus and scoured the web to try to find out anything this guy's ever said. Just anything, a sentence. Never speaks bad about anybody.
So is AJ Styles the nicest guy in wrestling? If not, who is? And also, can you come up with a little Mount Rushmore of the nicest people in wrestling?
Did you send me this question before?
I did.
I didn't see it.
It was the end of the page. End of the script. You probably forget it and just stopped.
No, it had just stopped. I would have thought about it a little more. AJ Styles is probably he can be included in the one of the nicest characters or personalities in wrestling. He's just a nice guy. I met him when he had only been he maybe worked some independents in Georgia. He's from Georgia. I forgot the town he's from in Georgia, Gainesville or somewhere, maybe. Very nice guy. That's his Southern charm coming through. That's the way he was raised. He didn't drink, which made him automatically, people said, oh, watch him. He doesn't drink and he doesn't take drugs. So watch him. There's something else wrong with him. Nice guy. And the thing, somebody told me one time, I said, how did he learn to wrestle? And somebody told me, and I think he maybe even told me, he just watched it. And he finally knew he had some moves that he invented. I mean, and he never blew up. He was always in shape. You tell him to go. Say you go in a dressing room and say you don't know who your opponent is, and you find out, and then you find out they want you to go 45 minutes. You tell a lot of guys to go 45 minutes, they can't do it. Some of them can't do it physically, and others can't do it because of the structure of the match. They just can't do it. I mean, they can go 45 minutes in actual time, but the quality of the match is going to suffer. You tell AJ it's 45 minutes, it's like taking a walk to the mailbox. He could go in there and he could go all night. That's how good a shape he's in. Very nice guy. So you asked me, who do you think is the nicest guy in wrestling?
Oh, I don't know. This is a tough one,
Yeah,
Matt.
but,
I don't.
and AJ, I never heard AJ badmouth anybody.
Can you think of anyone on his level then, or anybody who you think would be as nice or nicer than AJ? No, I said you couldn't say yourself.
Well, I can, just because you say I can't.
No, I'm applying limitations.
No, but the thing about bad mouthing guys, wrestlers have big mouths. They'll go to AJ and say, "Hey, that guy said something bad about you." What? And he wouldn't probably, approach the guy and ask him why he said it, but he would always remember it. So, and there's a lot of good guys in wrestling, a lot of them.
I'll give you a few names. So AI overview from Google, so how trustworthy this is, I don't know, has given the names John Cena, Big Show, Diamond Dallas Page, Dustin Rhodes, Goldust, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. A few other names, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, William Regal, and Abyss.
William Regal, I would put him in there. Abyss is too friendly. I mean, if you saw Abyss and you had something to do with wrestling and you met him, he's like all of a sudden you've known him for 30 years. And are you okay? Can I get you some? He's almost overly solicitous. Like that word?
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, and he's overly friendly. So AJ, who did we say? Abyss, Regal,
Cena, Big Show, DDP, Dustin Rhodes, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole. They're the remaining names.
Okay, from what I've had experience with, Daniel, who did you say?
Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson. I think you'd have to put him in there too. But I haven't really thought about it. I will have this next week. And I will have some guys that a lot of people won't even know about. But I'll have some different guys. That's just thinking off the top of my head right now.
Okay, I'll give you a few more names from this article here. One of them says Braun Strowman. One of them says Alexa Bliss.
What? Braun Strowman.
Yeah. You might agree with this one. Renee Paquette. Renee Young.
Oh, she's nice. She has a child now.
Good for her. Kane.
Nice lady.
Kane. That's someone on the list.
He is. Very nice.
Stephanie McMahon apparently has made it onto this list. And
Stephanie McMahon is according to who you talk to. I think she has some people who don't like her very much.
On WrestleZone, they say Bray Wyatt, Big E, John Cena, Mick Foley, and Rey Mysterio.
Well, the thing, when you name some names there, they are nice guys until they're threatened, till their spot is threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Because politically speaking, a lot of guys that if they say they're a main eventer and they see another guy getting close, well, they will go and politically speaking and politic to the heads in charge and they will try to put a damper or wet this guy down a little bit so he doesn't keep continuing. Hey, that's a human trait. And it's like, a lot of ways, it's like Hollywood. Because if some guy's going to be the star, well, if you're going to politic, you're going to politic for yourself.
A few more names.
They may go in and say, I think I'm a better fit than that guy. Nothing. And they always say this, don't get me wrong. I like the guy, but I think I would fit better. So, man, if the other guy knew that he was doing that, there would be tension between them.
Do you think Mick Foley falls under that nice guy until you threaten his spot?
Well, I don't think his spot can be threatened because of the way he worked. No, he is a nice guy. Yes, he is. But I don't think you could threaten his spot because nobody else can do the stuff that he did. Because nobody wanted to do the stuff that he did.
Oh, I don't know. You should see the AEW roster. I think quite a few people want to do the stuff he does now. I will see. There's a few more names, though. Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but see, look at Jack, at the schedule he had. See, these guys now taking these, saying AEW, how often do they actually wrestle?
Once a week maximum.
3 times a month, 4 times a month. Yeah, you can rest up. Jack was doing this night after night after night. I'm actually amazed that he's still together.
Mickey James is on this list. The Miz is on this list. Bailey on the list. I don't think you and her cross paths.
I don't know Bailey that well.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Triple H. Is he a nice guy?
According to who you talk to.
Well, yeah, kind of what I'm getting at.
That's what I'm saying. It's according to who's issuing these acclamations of who is a nice guy. And, and then what is the meaning of that? So now we're trying to determine the actual meaning of the word. But if somebody has bad mouth or said something not highly obligatory to one of these other guys, well, they could say, and they heard it, they can say, well, I don't like him. A lot of jealousy in wrestling, too. That's what they're not bringing up. See, just because somebody is nice to you doesn't mean they're nice to the next guy.
I'll bring up a couple more names and we'll wrap this bit up. Finn Balor. But did you and Finn ever interact with each other? Were you gone?
No. I met him once. Who was the other guy from Scotland? He was an agent. He's an agent now. Fit.
Oh, Scotland. Northern Ireland. Fit Finlay.
Yeah. Good guy.
Right. We'll give you two. Well, it's actually from the same interview here, but we'll end on these 2 quotes with 2 different topics.
Was my name in there?
No.
See, what the hell? Oh, go ahead.
WWE clout chasing. So Nick Khan of TKO and WWE, he gave an interview to Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast where basically just sucked the ass of Logan Paul all the way through it. But we'll have to really just plow through that bit. I mean, honestly, he was sucking the kidney stones out of him with some of the things he was saying. It was really annoying. Anyway, here's what he says about celebrities. So the obsequious nature of the quote itself towards Logan Paul. But anyway.
Listen, when the executive who first brought Logan Paul up to me, Triple H and the founder of the company said, hey, we should give him a shot. He wants to wrestle. The first thing we always look for, and it applies to Logan, who's now full-time with us, performing at an extremely high level. It applies to Bad Bunny. It applies to people who have come in, Tyson Fury. First of all, they have to be a fan. If they're just doing it because, as younger folks would say, I don't know, this might be a dated term, they're chasing clout or something like this, we don't want them. Yeah. Right? If you love it, we're open to the conversation.
Further speaking to Paul himself on the podcast, can't heap praise on Logan Paul, but we don't care about that. Right, so Nick Khan's quote there saying, hey, you've got to love wrestling, you've got to be a fan, you've got to know what you're talking about, or we don't want you. When did this change? Because they would take shit off a shovel if it had a guest spot on The View at one point. Your camera's died. Like just
wait a minute.
In response to that. Goodness me.
Wait a minute. What happened here?
I'm leaving this in, you know. There we go, good enough.
That's better.
Yeah, when did WWE get so picky? Because they show in the celebrities in the front row or whatever on every single Raw and SmackDown that they can and pay-per-view. Just 2/3 of the people you've never even heard of. Right. But then to let him in the ring, I mean, yeah, apparently Travis Scott was a big deal in the States anyway. But why didn't they vet him first before letting him ruin the WrestleMania 41 finish?
Well, Travis Scott, I didn't know who he was. I think most wrestling fans, he's a rapper, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, see, I don't listen to rap. I don't even like rap. So I didn't know whose idea, or I didn't know who he was. Bad Bunny too, right?
Yeah, but he was really good. And you could tell from the off that he'd be a good fit.
You know, isn't he gonna do the Super Bowl halftime show?
From what I understand, yeah.
Well, he must be huge to do that. He's going to do it in all Spanish, and couldn't they come up with I think you need to put classics on the Super Bowl, the classics, and I'm sure they can find enough classics to fill it, but I don't think that helps the Super Bowl. I think that helps him, but I don't think it helps the Super Bowl. So some of these guys they have put on there. Did Bad Bunny, is he a fan?
Oh, yeah. He wears like Eddie Guerrero t-shirts in music videos and stuff, so he's like a super fan.
He's Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
Then he knows who I am. How old is Bad Bunny?
I don't know. I'll find out. Hang on. He's 31. So if he grew up on IWA, he would have been, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, he remembers me probably.
He probably does.
So, but
is that your way of saying that you're a bigger star than Bad Bunny?
I don't know when it changed. And that might be the policy now. I don't know. They got to be fans of wrestling. Because I remember they used to book people that they didn't even want to be there.
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton.
They booked Al Sharpton once.
Well, everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, but he didn't even realize what wrestling was. He tried to leave half an hour after Raw started. He went, right, that's my thing done. I'll see you later. I was like, no, you booked till 11, unfortunately.
So they wouldn't let him leave? Good. When was that? When was Al Sharpton there?
Oh, that was during the Raw guest celebrity GM nonsense they were doing for ages. Terrible. They will get anybody for any reason.
Oh, okay. Who did they get that you didn't like?
I'm going to get a list up for you. One sec. Okay, I'm on this Reddit. Everyone says the best one was the Muppets. Everyone says the worst one was Al Sharpton.
Were good. Muppets were good.
Bob Barker.
But see, now they don't even have to have the talent. They could do an AI and just get permission from the from the person, and they don't even have to show up. And they can get exactly what they want out of it.
Dennis Miller.
I don't remember him.
Hugh Jackman and Freddie Prinze Jr. were two of the best. Hugh Jackman did really well.
Hugh Jackman, I remember him. Who was a Star Wars guy?
I mean, there's quite a few of them.
The main guy from the main show.
What, you mean like Mark Hamill?
No.
He wasn't on Raw, was he?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have been Harrison Ford.
I got there in, this was 2004, on 2005. He was a Star Wars. He was the old series, the Star Wars star.
Well, it's not Han Solo. I don't remember Mark Hamill being on Raw, but maybe I just missed that. I don't remember it being James Earl Jones.
I remember where it was. It was in Houston.
Okay,
I'm going
to have to find out. One sec. Right, okay, I'm recording again now, right? We've just established it wasn't Star Wars. It was William Bloody Shatner from Star Trek.
Okay, I got it.
And T.J. Hooker.
I got half of it right.
And Boston
Legal.
Good.
I'm proud of myself for even getting the star right.
Hey, William Shatner. He was there a couple of times.
Yeah, uh-huh.
He, the first time he was there, this was before you were in the WWF, and he monkey flipped Road Dogg. It was good business. It was good.
That was good.
Yeah, he was. I think
he
was
Road Dogg. Road Dogg do anything. And he's actually a good agent. And he got in that agent role because of Triple H. He loves him.
Do you want me to come up with any more celebrity names? Of Jeremy Piven, very famously called SummerSlam Summerfest. Welcome to... Oh, that was a stinker. Mark Cuban was good. Seth Green was good. I'm trying to think of any other names. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Seth Green, the late night talk show host?
No, I think... isn't Seth the Green Dr. Evil's son in Austin Powers? You know, the little guy.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Buzz Aldrin.
I remember him.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Johnny, no. Bob Barker, everyone says. Jeremy Piven, we can't think. Shaq, he must have been pretty good.
Yeah, Jack is great.
Ozzy Osbourne.
I remember him, but I would love to have been around him.
And one more that was bad, apparently, was Ariel Winters, who I don't know who that is.
Who in the hell's that?
I have no idea. Trying to think of any. Oh, Jesse Ventura as well was, of course, a celebrity guest host once.
Donald Trump.
Oh yeah. Well, that led to a good match. Oh, Don Johnson. When was Don Johnson?
Yep, he was there.
Floyd Mayweather apparently was so bad that he turned up late to the show and he was only in one half of a segment.
Did they pay him? I guess they had to pay him before he got there.
Yeah, I guess so. Kevin Hart.
I remember him.
Cheech and Chong. I don't remember Cheech and Chong being on Raw. He must have been. Man, there's been so many of these damn people, I tell you. Right, okay, then we're going to move on to our final point.
Now, you said that 15 minutes ago.
No, I was very, very insistent that I said we've got two stories from the same interview.
Okay.
Right. Nick Khan also said this about Rey Mysterio. So here's the quote.
I remember there was one match, you and Rey Mysterio.
Bro.
You know what I'm talking about.
Bro.
So think about the work that guy has put into his career. And by the way, it'll date me a little bit, but when he was in WCW, he was considered like a nothing.
Rey Mysterio. He was considered a nothing in WCW. Your thoughts?
No, he wasn't considered a nothing in WCW. Didn't it? But that's where they had him unmasked.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's when he became Rey Mysterio. No, he's too big a star, too big in Mexico. He wasn't a nothing in WCW until they made him a nothing.
To give everyone a bit of a timeline, he was the centerpiece of the cruiserweight division for years, along with like Ultimo Dragon, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko. That was a murderer's row of the greatest conglomeration of cruiserweights there has ever been in wrestling history. And I put that up against New Japan in the 90s as well. And Rey Mysterio, even though he's 5'2", stood out in that group as one of the greatest people. He was one of the people everyone wanted to see in WWF at the time. Then they unmasked him. Eric Bischoff's thing.
How tall is he really?
5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, he's short because I've stood up next to him and he was a lot.
You probably
shorter
stood
than
on him and didn't realize.
I met him and Dominic one night. And he'd brought Dominic with him to the show, and I met him there. But just think of the mountains this guy had to climb to get to where he was, Mysterio. I mean, but he got it by hard work and being consistent and the mask. Otherwise, I don't think he could have done it. But his moves would be there whether he has the mask or not. But when you think of from the Dust Bowl to the Super Bowl, to WrestleMania, and he made it, congratulations to him, because, small guys don't usually last long in wrestling.
Yeah, and especially tiny guys. I mean, they wanted to be him. I think in Mexico, they wanted him to be a mini. Like, basically, a midget wrestler. Yeah. So they wanted him to be a mini at one point, and someone, or Conan, maybe spoke up for him. But this is what Conan said about him. They took...
Yeah, him and Conan are big buddies.
Oh, yeah. I think Conan described this at one point, saying, okay, you are going to take Rey, who looks like a superhero, is very small but appeals to the kids as well as the adults, is basically the best luchador in the world, or one of, if not. And what you're going to do is you're going to unmask him to reveal a grown man who's balding in his 20s and who is 5'2". And you are taking away... Eric Bischoff insisted, so I understand. I don't know who else insisted. And I think to placate him, he got a couple of fluke wins over Scott Norton and Kevin Nash and stuff. And after that, they were with a group called the Filthy Animals that I guarantee practically no one remembers. With Conan, Billy Kidman, briefly Eddie Guerrero as well. And it was a crappy group, which I never liked. But it's WCW in 2000. They were always crappy. And why would you do that?
That was not everybody makes the correct decisions on the creative team. That was a bad decision.
On purpose, though?
They did it on purpose, you think?
Well, I'm wondering if someone got jealous. Hey, this Rey guy, he's stealing the spotlight from us. We need to take something away from him. His superhero presentation, and make him a dude.
Yeah, but why would you take that away from him? If he's getting over, he's getting over. And for Bischoff to go along with it, and Bischoff has a pretty good eye for talent. It's not what I think. When I was booking, it's not what I think. I might not even like the guy if I was booking. It's up to the fans. I'm listening to them. And of course, the only place I get to listen to them is in the live events. But I'm sure if they're screaming and standing up and spending energy by voicing their support for a certain talent, well, I'm going to do something with him. And he was over as Rey Mysterio, right?
Yeah, hugely. From his first match, he was mega over in '96. And then in 3 years, he was one of the biggest stars once again. And here's the other thing. Okay, he was nothing. He was considered a nothing in WCW. That's the quote. Well, when WWE brought Rey Mysterio in 2002, it was exactly the same as the WCW presentation of Rey Mysterio, where everybody knew him from and everybody loved him. There was there's these exposés oh, this is what Rey Mysterio looks like unmasked, because so many people had never realised that he unmasked in the first place. They remember the Rey from WCW, the famous one with the mask. They've blanked from their minds the tiny little man without a mask with devil horns stuck to his head, who was injured for half of the year. That basically didn't exist. But for the first 3 years, he was a megastar. He was one of the reasons WCW was beating the WWF. I don't care about the big stars. Those cruiserweights at that time, they were revolutionary for the States. And Rey was a big part of that. He doesn't get the credit he deserves.
See, the traditional old-time mask guys, They wouldn't be unmasked for any reason. Let's take wrestling number 2. I think Jimmy Carter got elected president, and they wanted him to, because they're both from Georgia, they wanted him to attend the presidential inauguration party, and they invited him to come. He turned it down. The reason he turned it down he would be forced to not wear his mask. And he said, I'm not coming. And when he would leave an arena, he would drive 20 miles down the road till nobody was behind him. And he would wear his mask out, get in the car, drive off in his mask, drive down the street and drive to where nobody was following him. Then he'd take the mask off. He took that much care that nobody saw who he was.
How many masked
Which
wrestlers?
was good, because if you saw Johnny Walker without his mask, not only was he bald, he was old.
It's like the Destroyer as well. It's like if you saw him without his mask on, I mean, you basically peek through sides of it and see he was an old, craggy man. But, you know, it's the difference between old, craggy man and superstar.
Absolutely. And so if you see what's under the mask, that's what the mask was so, till it got worn out. But I can't even say that, because everybody in Mexico at the time wore a mask. Most of them wore masks. So, but they had some great masks. They had some really, really great, renditions and versions of mask. So
I've got a question for you. How many masked wrestlers have you seen shower with the mask on?
Wrestling 2 did it.
But Mil Mascaras did it.
Mil Mascaras, no, you won't catch him without the mask on. I don't think even today. Now that's dedication. That's dedication to your craft. Now I may be wrong, but I heard that no, he won't him. Who did you say? The guy
Mil Mascaras.
What's that? 1,000 masks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he's ever. Has a picture ever been made of him out? I'm sure there has by now.
I think there has. I think he's in his day. He was quite a distinguished-looking gentleman, but I'd have to say.
Yes, he was. He would put a suit on and a tie with that mask. He looked impressive, and I actually worked with him one time.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was. I was in Georgia. For some reason, I think I was like, I'd only been in the business like a year, and he put me against Mil Mascaras. I didn't know who in the hell Mil Mascaras was. Nobody ever told me. And he come up, and and I cannot even remember I don't even think I talked to him in his face, because we had this match, and I ended up giving him a body slam. And I come back, and they went, "Wow, man, how did you get him to do that? He doesn't take slams." I went, "Well, nobody told me. I didn't say nothing to him when I was talking to him about the match. I just went for it, and he went up, and I didn't put him down hard." And I said, "I didn't, I didn't know you couldn't slam Mil Mascaras." Said he didn't take a lot of money, but he came in defense of Mascaras. He came in, shook my hand, thank you very much, and he left.
I've got an image of him.
I'd almost forgotten I'd worked with him.
I've got an image of him, if you're interested, Dutch, which I'm sure you are. So,
hey, this show is not for us.
Yeah, no,
it's for the fans. I want to see what he looks like.
Well, give us 1 second, because I've got the camera on me, because I need to switch everything round. There we go. Oh, damn thing. You see him? Here we go.
That's not him.
It's him.
No, that's a singer.
Why, who's that then? Whitney Houston?
He looks like a He looks like an R&B guy singer.
That's what came up when I searched Mil Mascaras. Hang on. Let me find out. Mil Mascaras Unmasked. Where is he? It's claiming it's him. That guy. Oops, I'll move that over.
Well, who's the first guy?
It's the same dude. They're the only images, I guess.
Wow. Well, anyway.
No, does that not look like Mil Mascaras then?
I would have no idea.
Oh, for goodness sake. I thought you'd actually seen his face. That's why you said it wasn't him.
You know when I saw his face, James? You know how many years ago?
Just then?
Probably 40 years, 50 years. I've been in this business since day one, seems like. And I cannot remember. No, I don't remember that face.
Okay, well, that was somebody's face.
But I said when I talked to him, he kept his mask on.
Yeah, you did say that. Okay, then, everybody, that is the end of the show. That is the end of Unmasked Wrestlers with Dutch Mantell as well.
I'm in protest now.
Fair enough there. Is it because you weren't threatened by his mustache, were you?
No, I wasn't.
No, all right then.
But I didn't have this then. I just had a little bitty mustache. It looked worse than that guy's.
You did in the 80s. In the 80s, it was more beard, though, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was when it was Ox Baker, he had that big thing coming down, and it was good.
Did I ever send you that video of Ox Baker singing?
On not The Price is Right.
No. Just backstage somewhere, he just started singing a song about wrestling.
Oh, he could. He was a performer. Where he really performed was in Waffle Houses at about 2:00 in the morning, and some little chubby little waitress would come up, and he would just put her over, and he'd have her laughing, and then but he would get everything he wanted. I mean, right on time and extra. He said, "Yeah, you gotta know how to handle them, kid." And they loved Ox. Ox was the biggest heel in Georgia at one time, but the waitresses all around the Waffle Houses or wherever I went with him, they loved him to death.
Let me share this with you then. 1 second. I just need to send it. There we go. Right. Bear with me 5 seconds. I need to share the sound, damn it.
Okay, give me that.
Oh, hang on. Ox is already singing. 1 sec. Is this going to work?
When did Ox pass away?
Oh, I don't know. Quite a few years ago now, I think.
Look at him.
Anyway, 1 sec.
I said, Vince McMahon, come here. These knees hurt me so bad. Ox Baker's gotta go. I've got the old time. Hey, I've got the old time. I've got the old time. Wrestling blues. Hey, for 40 years, Ox Baker was right in the middle of that ring. When he had that old heart punch, he always done his thing. I've got the old time. I've got the old time. I've got the old time. Wrestling blues.
There you go. That'll take us out just well, I think.
You need to take that and put some applause at the end and go off.
We should do.
That was good.
Okay, very good, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, we are going to be back on Sunday, and then we'll be back on Wednesday as well for Storytime next week. So the schedule is going to remain the same for now. Once again, questions for dutch@gmail.com. That's how you submit your questions to the Dutch Mantell Ask Dutch Anything Sunday Spectacular every single week. Until then, everybody, within the sound of my voice, hand over your heart and say along with me, we, the people.
The people.
Very good.